Hey guys, Solo here, and I was talking about starting this mini-series in my Shino Numa video where I do dual commentaries with famous YouTubers and streamers. So to kickstart this series off, joining me today is CJGarof. I couldn't think of a better person to start the series off with. I'm sure you've all heard of CJ. He's an immense zombies player and streamer. And recently he recorded the world record on Doris at level 133, and he holds multiple world records. Say hi, CJ.
What's up, man? Pleasure to be here.
Really appreciate you doing this dual comm today.
No problem, dude.
All right, so the way this dual comm is going to go is I'm going to ask CJ a few questions, and we'll take it from there. So, CJ, what world records do you currently hold?
You know, if you had asked me this question maybe a week ago, I could have said I had three, possibly four. Apparently, I've just been stripped of my Kino record at 125 by the Jimbo Gobo, who previously had the world record for Ascension at 154, but apparently Slayer Mani beat him pretty recently as well. But I did have Kino as of a week ago, Doris at 133, and as far as I know, 5 at round 94.
At round 94, and I remember you were doing a run to 100 on your stream a few weeks ago. How did that go?
Uh, you know, 100 is a pain for that map. No matter what you do, it's gonna take a long time, and I just kind of got screwed by some unforeseen circumstances. That my first run, 92, got cut short by a restarting game crash. The same thing that happened to
Right.
Spider Bite. It happened to me on Ascension at around 135. It happened to Mr. Raffle Waffles at 130. It's just this constant problem with whatever goes on with the PS3 and Black Ops and the high round stuff. But then,
Right.
so I kind of felt gypped out of that one. So I tried to go, try hard for 100 again, and I got cut short by some questionably behaving zombies, which kind of spawned in a little later than I was used to and cut me off at really a move that I'd been doing flawlessly the entire game.
Right, right. And you said you possibly have four. What would be the fourth?
I never claimed it as such, but I've done 108 on Shino Numa on Black Ops. It was kind of a coincidence that I mean I have two systems. I have a PS3 and an Xbox, so it's not out of the ordinary for me to have two games going at once. But
Right, yeah.
the same time that issue happened to me on my first try with 5, I was really anxious to start 5 on Xbox to see if it could handle the high round stuff a little better. So I actually quit that game. So I don't have a game over screen. Yeah, I should have downed myself, but I was so anxious to start 5 on the Xbox that I kind of just jumped right into it.
Right, right.
And it paid off because I beat myself by another 2 rounds.
That's always good, yeah. And I noticed I looked around the YouTube to find any high rounds for Shino Numa because, as you know, I did a high round on Shino Numa recently, and yours is the highest I found.
Hmm.
So in my book, I'd say you'd have four world records now that
I mean,
Kino's gone.
I really can't claim it as such because the game over screen is such an essential part of the claiming process. That's what everybody's going to look at to check out. Do your kills make sense? Do your points make sense? You know what I
Right.
mean?
Yeah. All right. Well, when did you start streaming on Twitch or just on TV?
I'd say it's been about a year. I started off with a GigaWare capture card, the composite device and S-Video, and it just looked really crappy. So my next step was to get a PVR, and I've been having a lot of fun streaming. So it's been about a year.
All right. And were you on YouTube before then, or did you
I
start
ha
off on just?
I've had a YouTube account since 2007, and granted, I haven't done very much with it. I think the only gameplay I did before the zombie stuff was I uploaded some. If you're familiar with the game Borderlands, Cromorax is
Hmm.
a rather difficult boss, and I uploaded a couple of tutorials on my old capture device that looked really crappy, and I'm actually starting to redo those in HD, which is
Okay, yeah.
pretty cool.
So okay, all right. Well, where did you get the idea for the Hawking's voice in the beginning of every video?
Yeah.
It's pretty symbolic. I
You know,
Yeah.
that really started off as me in my first couple of videos, I was trying to find a way to have some kind of a humorous interaction with another individual. And
Hmm.
if you listen to some of my first videos, they're kind of funny. I edited in, I don't know if you're familiar with them, but the Jerky Boys, they were big when
Okay.
I was growing up. They did like maybe 5, 6 records of exclusively crank calls, and they're
Huh.
really some of the funniest things I've ever heard, and still to this day some of the funniest things I've ever heard. So yeah, I might flag myself for copyright by admitting to this. I should probably get rid of those videos, but it started with me editing them in to kind of have at least some kind of interaction, a funny interaction with someone else. And then it got to the point where I had to really create the context of my commentaries around what these guys were saying. So I was fishing for ideas. I was driving myself crazy. And then I was like, okay, what if I could have somebody say exactly what I want them to?
Good. Yeah.
And that's where the computer voice comes in. And I tried it in a video or two, and these guys just seem to love it and they think it's hilarious. So
Yeah.
it just gets the gears spinning. What else can I do with this? The viewer comments one was hilarious because it was me insulting these guys for bad English and poor grammar,
Uh-huh.
but it didn't come out as me insulting them. It was, I'm off the hook because Stephen Hawking computer voice guy is saying it,
Yeah.
not CJ.
Projects do you currently have planned?
I kind of take it as I go. I mean, right now I'm doing. I'm not going to say I'm attempting a world record on Call of the Dead because the world record as it is just out of the park,
Yeah.
and it's not something I even feel like I'm capable of. But I'm doing road to round 50s and round 60s on that map.
Call
Like
of
I
the Dead.
said,
Yeah.
I'm doing more of the Stephen Hawking things because it seems like that's what these guys really want to see in the context of whatever I do with zombies. I'm not going to say another world record isn't out of the question because I mean it's certainly enticing to either maybe reclaim Kino or something to that effect or Shino Numa is a weird one because I was considering doing it efficiently, but you know how many guys would come back to me and say, "But Yodi Slayer got to
Yeah.
1337. He
Yeah.
only did 120."
Yeah.
That almost makes it not even worth it because even the audience doesn't know there's such a huge difference between those two versions.
Right.
So
Yeah.
that would make me reconsider doing something like that. Doris was certainly fun. I don't know that I would say I'll revisit any maps, except maybe 5. I would like to genuinely try to get to 100 on that one sometime. Not in the near future, but eventually.
Have you considered getting into custom zombies at all on the PC?
I would if the Mac part or the Windows partition on my Mac could handle it. I'm not confident enough in my hardware that I'd be able to
Hmm.
actually do it. So it's possible. I may get it on Steam just to give it a shot and see if my computer can actually run it.
Yeah. Now, since you've been involved in so many long zombie runs, I'm assuming all these like 100 plus runs have taken several days, right?
Weeks.
Weeks. So do you have a certain routine that you get into?
I
Do you?
would say um, the first rounds can be some of the hardest,
Hmm.
but some of the most difficult as well in terms of getting set up. But those are really the rounds that I can really put in maybe 8 to 10 hours in one sitting, and then the habit becomes more of retaining my natural schedule of sleeping and eating. Like I see some guys, they overdo it, man.
Hmm.
Like a good friend of mine who recently tried Kino, I saw him depriving himself of sleep and food, and that's just really what's going to ultimately do you in if you're
Right.
attempting these kind of high round, ridiculous long runs.
True, true. So, what is your favorite perk?
I'd just have to say my favorite perk would be Flopper. Because
Flopper.
you know what, Mustang and Sally has always been one of my favorite guns, and in Kino and Doris, you always kind of had to think twice about
True.
shooting it.
Yeah.
Like depending on how far away you were from your target, you could maybe use it akimbo and shoot twice. Yeah, I mean, flopper really just allows you to be really weapons free
Yeah,
with that gun,
even
that
with your
particular one,
grenades and
and
such.
cook grenades and do some really cool stuff. Like there, I mean, the fact that you can cook a grenade and so it explodes on you, do that during an insta kill. That's a lot of fun. You know, drawing
Yeah,
an entire horde towards you and cooking a grenade till it blows up and just destroys everything. It's really kind of cool. I love what that perk did for a lot of those
I
weapons.
wish they'd put that in every map instead of mule kick, which gets me into
Oh,
my next question. What is your least favorite perk?
you kind of set me up for that one, but I mean, I have to go with mule kick because I don't. I'm kind of um.
A zombie
I'm kind of
purist, maybe?
yeah. I am a zombie purist, but Call of the Dead makes me reconsider meal kick being useful and necessary because I am a purist in the sense of the old maps. Kino, I hate seeing it on because it doesn't really matter if you get over 50. It doesn't matter how many guns you have. You
Yeah,
can't gun everything anyway.
true.
You know, so I mean, it kind of cheapens things in the sense that it does make 1 to 50 easier, but after 50, then it does nothing for you. But Call of the Dead is where I would reconsider because I'm using it. I mean, yeah, if you kill George enough times, you have to use it. There's no avoiding it.
Yeah.
So I mean, I'm getting creative in terms of some of my gun setups. Like the round that George is there, I'll use I'll pack a punch FAMAS. You know, the zombie world's most useless gun, and keep that just as a George killer, and then have the scavenger and the ray gun to do my killing for me, and then I'll switch that out the next round where he's not there with like a VR-11 and get a one-shot kill of 36 out of however many zombies I'm going to encounter
Yeah.
that round, just to make it a little more tolerable. But I mean, I'm coming up with some creative setups with the presence of meal kick, but in most maps I don't think it was necessary.
Right. Now, lastly, I understand that you enjoy playing the Metal Gear Solid series. That's a
Oh, I
series that
love them. Yes.
I grew up on personally. My brother would bring it home when I was 8 or 7, like 8 or 9, and we'd play it together. Um, so I'm interested to know what your favorite Metal Gear Solid title is.
It's got to be a toss up between 3 and 4 for me. 3, just the ability to be Big Boss, and
Yeah.
during the Cold War is just pretty amazing. And I got to say, they kind of number 2 to me wasn't all that great. The mechanics were
Yeah.
sketchy. The story was all over the place. Raiden was a pussy. I mean,
He did his little cartwheels while Snake did the somersaults. I was like, what is
exactly,
going on here?
exactly, just goofy stuff like that. But
Yeah. But
four,
3 was a lot of fun. They introduced the camo.
yeah,
Also, I thought the boss, the character, was very well done.
I thought all the bosses in that game were amazing. The end, the one where you have to track down the
Yeah,
sniper,
yeah, that was a lot of
um,
fun. It took forever though.
the fear, the guy with the bees, and
Hmm. Yeah.
yeah.
And have you seen the trailer that came out a few days ago for Rising?
I believe I did. I was checking out IGN when I tweeted the other day that IGN seemed to be complaining about Raiden kind of overshadowing Snake.
Snake. Yeah, I remember seeing that tweet. So do you think it'll be as good as the other Metal Gear games
I
or
think it has potential to be. I mean, the Raiden, he really became a badass in number 4 when the Snake is in the scenario where he has to get out of whatever that Middle Eastern village is, and then he's just kind of cluster gang banged by Metal Gears, and Raiden comes in with the sword and,
yeah.
and slices through him, and I think he has potential to really redeem himself. Well, he already did, in my eyes, redeem himself in number 4. He actually turned out to be a pretty intriguing character. They kind of shortchanged Raiden in number 2, but in 4, I think Kojima Productions really did him some justice in developing his character and making him a lot more badass and comparable to Snake in terms of badassedness.
Yeah.
From what I've seen, the cutting mechanic looks really cool, and I have, nothing but faith in terms of Hideo Kojima putting out something that's awesome, considering his track record with every single other
Hmm.
title thus far.
Yeah. Have you gotten the Metal Gear Solid HD collection?
No, that's on my list though, and I can't
I,
wait to actually get through Peace Walker for the first time, as well as the others again.
Peace Walker actually surprised me. I've played all the games, even the original ones, Metal Gear Solid, Metal Gear 1 and 2, that was on the MSX,
Mm,
but I've never played Peace Walker when I popped it in my Xbox for the first time because I got the HD collection the day it came out.
mm.
It's a really good game. It's like a combination between Metal Gear 3 and 4. The fighting system in 4 is combined with the camouflage and with Big Boss of 3.
That's really cool.
So it's definitely
Big
worth getting.
Big Boss was definitely a character I would have liked to play more as, so that's definitely pretty intriguing
Hmm.
to me as well.
Yeah. Anyway, I know you're a busy man, so I'm going to let you go now, but thanks again for doing this.
You got it, man.
Viewers, remember to check out CJ's channel. The link is in the description below. And let me know what you think of this video in the ratings and comments. If I get enough positive reaction, maybe I'll try to get other famous YouTubers. I know Predictable Nova expressed some interest in doing this as well. And maybe you can turn this into a weekly thing. But
Cool.
thanks again, CJ.
All right,
And
man,
I'll
you
speak
got
to you
it.
later.
It was fun. Take care. See ya.